Hey, so what's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video what I'm going to be going over is just another Game of Thrones Season 7 video. Basically, it's not really Season 7, but it's basically saying who's all the Valyrian Steel Swords, and I'm actually going to include the Valyrian Steel Dagger, which is called Cat's Paw. It's going to be right at the end. The only reason I'm including this is because it's Valyrian Steel, and it could still be used to kill a White Walker, so I'm just going to include a few things and a brief backstory of all the swords. So if you're new to my channel, you can consider subscribing and turning on post notifications. I'll be doing more videos in this, and getting right into it. So the first one we have is Longclaw, which is the most recognizable one in my opinion. It used to belong to the Mormonts, which is Lyanna Mormont, Jeor Mormont. It was basically Jeor Mormont's sword, and it was supposed to be passed down to his son, Jorah Mormont. But he basically brought this honor to the family and fled from Westeros. So with that, and with Jon Snow actually saving his life, he ended up giving Longclaw to Jon Snow. And Jon Snow's had this sword throughout the whole series. I'm pretty sure he got this back in like season 1 or season 2, so he's had it for at least 4 or 5 seasons. So getting into Heartsbane. So if you don't know what Heartsbane is, it is I'm pretty sure it's Randall Tarley's sword. And Samuel actually took it going to the Citadel. He took it from his father. And basically Heartsbane was, I'm pretty sure, I'm not entirely sure it was Heartsbane as I'm sure with all the other swords. So with Heartsbane is basically, it was in the family for a few thousands of years. Basically said it was never going to go down to Samuel, just because he was never worthy of his lands and titles, so he made him join the Night's Watch. And I'm pretty sure someone of his family or something had to go up when they were fighting the two Valyrian Steel Swords for a long time. And I'm pretty sure his name was Samuel or Sam as well. So getting into one of my favorites, we have ice. So if you don't know what ice is, basically it was in the Stark's family for thousands of years. It is a great sword, so you couldn't use it in battle. It was too big to use in battle. So it was used back in season 1, episode 1, to behead Dessert from the Night's Watch. And this sword is a really big sword, like incredibly big. And there's only 3 people in the world who could actually melt down and reforge Valyrian Steel Swords. And then Tywin took it off of, I'm pretty sure it was Ned Stark, and basically reforged it down to 2 smaller swords, which I'm going to go over now. So one of my personal favorites is Widow's Wail. If you don't know who Widow's Wail was, it was Joffrey's, and then Joffrey died, so now it is with Jaime. So Widow's Wail is just one of my favorites as well, just because of the whole look of it. It definitely does look one of the coolest in my opinion. I think that one and Longclaw are actually my personal favorites. So going into Oathkeeper, this is Jaime's sword, and he ended up giving this to Brienne to protect Catelyn Stark's sister, or Sansa and Arya, which are her daughters. So this is one of my favorites as well, is now with Brienne. It's basically, there's not too much of a backstory to go off with these, only was reforged down from ice. So going into one we haven't seen in the TV show yet, or we might not see it ever, is Blackfyre. So if you don't know who Blackfyre is, or the sword, it was Aegon the Conqueror's sword, a Valyrian Steel Sword. So basically, he was the first person to conquer Westeros. So it was his sword, and it was now lost in the free cities of Pentos, or Astapor, or something lost around there. So now it is currently not in the TV show, we haven't seen it, I don't think we've even heard of it. But there's nothing really to go off of that, only it was Aegon the Conqueror's. So going on to Dark Sister. So if you don't know who Dark Sister is, it was one of Aegon the Conqueror's sister wives. I'm not too sure which one it is, but it was last seen with Bloodraven. So if you don't know who Bloodraven is, it was Brendan Rivers, and if you don't know who that is, he's the Free-Eyed Raven. Now this is really interesting because we haven't seen it on the show, so Mira might have picked it up when she picked up a sword. We're not too sure on that. No one is really sure on that yet. Do I think we're going to see Dark Sister? Probably not, just because of the whole fact that Blackfyre isn't going to be shown, so Dark Sister won't be shown. And they're kind of linked in a way, because they're kind of husband and wife as swords, if you know what I mean. So going on to Cat's Paw. If you don't know what Cat's Paw is, it is a Valyrian Steel Dagger. It was used to try and kill Bran Stark, which he was warding at the time where he was in this coma. And basically someone really wealthy wanted him dead. Now there's been speculation that it's been Joffrey, that it's been Littlefinger. Personally, no one knows who it is. I don't even know who it is, and Bran might know who this is now. But basically, it was with Ned Stark for a bit. Then Littlefinger took it off him and tried to kill him with it, or he betrayed him. And now it is with Bran because he was given him as a present. And then Bran ended up giving it to Arya because he didn't need it, and maybe Arya was going to kill a White Walker with it or something. But that's been pretty much it for all the Valyrian Steel Swords and everything, and a brief background around it. So you can consider subscribing and turning on post notifications. As I said, I love doing these videos. They take a bit longer than usual to make. But as I said, I enjoy doing them. So that's been pretty much it for the video, and I'll see you in the next video, and peace.